How do you pack all of these looks, oh my god, I think there's over 20, in one carry-on bag? It's not an obscure folding trick or packing cubes. It's about mastering the art of mixing and matching a limited number of pieces creatively and understanding the concept of breadth versus depth. Don't you worry, my friends, I'm gonna show you, okay? Today I'm gonna take one small travel capsule, and then I'm gonna take some of the foundational outfits and restyle them for different destinations. I'm gonna keep the tips general and focus on what I like to call elements of style. These are things like proportion, texture, playing with silhouettes. That way you can take these ideas and apply them to your own closet. So even if you're not traveling, there is nothing like working with a small travel capsule to remind us that we don't need new clothes to create cool outfits. We just need more creativity. And I believe everybody can be creative. I'm not actually going anywhere, so I imagine this capsule for anywhere between 10 to 14 days in 3 different locations, one very sporty, one very elegant, and one very busy, urban, and bustling. A quick word on the climates that I'm envisioning. I'm imagining us traveling during the shoulder season, so not quite peak summer. I think a lot of us are traveling during these almost off seasons, but also I don't have my summer sandals or shoes with me, I'll be completely honest. I'm gonna start with footwear because our destinations dictate the type of shoes we need to be wearing. So rather than choose pieces that I really like and then struggle to find shoes that are both functional and work with these items, I'm gonna just start with the shoes I know I need and build from there. So the shoes that I'm starting off with are a pair of sneakers, an easy cross trainer that are also cute. I can't tell you much about these shoes. I found them for €5 at a secondhand market. A pair of easy ballet flats. Don't have to be ballet flats if you are not a ballet flat person. If these destinations that you're going to are even hotter, this could easily also be a strappy sandal. But whatever you do, I would make sure that they are an opposite shoe to your sneaker. So something with a lower, sleeker profile, and something also in a different color, if you can. Now, because I'm not bringing my running gear, and I test packed before this, I had so much space in my little suitcase that I was able to pack a 3rd pair of shoes. If I have extra space in my suitcase, I always will opt to bring an extra pair of shoes. When our clothes are limited, footwear is what's going to change your outfit almost completely without doing anything to it. I always bring my belt bag with me. It's vintage and really old. I like that I can wear it close to the body, especially when I'm in those busier, bustling places. It looks totally at home on a beach. And when it comes to the more elegant destinations, when I'm walking around during the day, I bring a little tote bag. In the evening, sometimes I'll just take advantage of pockets and go without a purse. Now I know that's not ideal, but again, like we're traveling, we're using what we have. If you want to skew more on the elegant side of things, then your tote bag can actually be a really nice, elegant basket bag. Even in these more elegant cities, we still see basket bags. Okay, now for the clothing bit. This is where the concept of breadth versus depth is really important. I talk about this in detail in a capsule closet video I did. In the context of fashion, breadth is having as many different versions as possible within one category of clothing. For example, here, tops. The breadth is represented by so many different elements of style. We have different silhouettes leading to different proportions in the entire look. We have different textures, different colors, different necklines, and overall completely different style vibes. Depth is or detail within each of those categories. Here in tops, depth represents taking one silhouette and cut of top, like this classic t-shirt in a straight cut, and adding depth to this collection through color and print. You could also use texture as well if it was the same silhouette. So here there is no variance in the silhouette. This works really well for people who love a specific silhouette but still want variance in their closet. When we're traveling or working with an even smaller amount of clothes, breadth is absolutely essential for more versatility and getting more use out of what we already have. So let's take my bottoms category as an example. So I have a midi length denim skirt, a pair of wide leg trousers, and then I also have a pair of black leggings. I've got different textures, completely different style vibes, and completely different silhouettes, and then the option to play with completely different proportions, because all of these are so different. Even though, if we look at them on the hangers like this, like, I mean, they really don't seem that exciting, but they give me so many options. You'll see in a minute. You always want at least one denim or some printed or textured pieces in your capsule, because these hide stains and wear and dirt. For tops, I did the same thing. I wanted to have a breadth of items. Now, if you're someone who only likes to wear a certain type of silhouette, like if you know the cuts that you like, say you love leggings, then you would perhaps have 3 pairs of leggings, but in different colors and different textures. So that's what I mean by breadth and depth. My first top is this little knitted vintage tee, this super fine, really interesting poet's blouse. I have learned to never travel without a button-up shirt. It's just one of my absolute go-tos. And just to look at our example of breadth versus depth, I don't have a lot of depth here, but I have a lot of breadth. Each of these offer a completely different silhouette, a completely different texture, a completely different style vibe as well. My next category is more basic, and this is where I went more for depth in one category. Here's our example of depth. And look, I know it's only 2, but this is a travel capsule, so this is where we're going. Yours don't have to be long sleeves. I know that this feels really quite warm for a spring travel capsule. However, these are working really great for me. I'm still cold, even though it's like 20 degrees outside and sunny. So these are fantastic. For you, maybe these are tank tops, maybe they're t-shirts. What I'm trying to get at is the basics is where we go deep. 2 lightweight knits. The silhouettes are similar, so I'm going deep in terms of color. I've got a light and a dark, and the details and the vibes are a little bit different. For outerwear, I've got 2 pieces with me, a more sporty shell jacket, and then a nice wool short jacket. I would also bring 1 sports bra, 7 pairs of underwear, assuming that I've got access to laundry, or that I would hand wash. I always travel with my True Earth strips because they don't take up any space, and you can just wash everything in the sink with them. They're absolutely fantastic. Very minimal jewelry that I can wear entirely on the plane. 1 pair of sunnies, and also, final packing tip before we get into the outfits. I know we all struggle with the like, just in case, what if I end up going here, blah, blah. The only just in case item that we need to pack is a bathing suit. Even if we have no plans, even if we're going on an Arctic cruise, you just never know when sexy hot tub or sexy pool time might happen, okay? Never travel without a bathing suit. It's my policy. I'm starting out with my plain look, where I'm trying to wear the heavier items so that they take up less space in my suitcase. I like the proportions here, something long over a super sleek and fitted legging, plus I like the boxy jacket that offsets the visual weight of the running shoe. These first looks are more casual. I'm assuming we're going somewhere where there's a lot of hiking, maybe some mountains, and the overall vibe of the place we're visiting is sporty and casual. Elements of style that give a look a more sporty and casual feel are interesting proportions, like the long over short, leaving things untucked, unbuttoned, and undone. The white sneaker element is also a very big sporty indicator, obviously. So for more casual, sporty destinations, I wear the sneakers more often, even with other elements that feel more polished, like the black trousers. I keep everything feeling pretty casual by using the classic basic crew neck tees and adding my baseball hat. I want to point out how versatile the skirt is because we can play with its proportions. See here how I'm wearing it low around the hips with the sneaker. Now this might not be the quote-unquote most flattering silhouette or proportion, but I really like it because I'm showing a little bit of skin at the midriff and at the neckline. I'm not getting overwhelmed by that awkward length. Pay attention to how I'm playing with the proportions of the skirt in some of the more elevated looks. I envisioned these next series of looks for big city centers. Maybe we're visiting places where we have to keep shoulders covered and pay attention to our hemlines. We might be going out for dinners a little bit more. So see what I've done here with the skirt? It instantly feels more polished and put together when we've lifted it up, accentuated the waistline, and adorned it with a belt. There's also more of a vertical focus, not because I'm wearing a heel, but because we can see more of my foot and the hemline is higher. See how the proportions make a huge difference? Okay, we're going a little bit more elegant here, and the way to add polish to any outfit, especially if you're wandering around with a canvas tote bag, is to add some sort of structure to your look. So here's where that little jacket and things like the button-down shirt plus the trousers can come in handy, especially if you're wearing a low-profile flat or even the sneaker. It's the structure of the other pieces that are going to make you feel more put together. In all honesty, this is the only look I created with the yellow blouse. I did try it with the trousers, but I found the contrast to be just too much. I probably could have eliminated this, no problem, and still had an abundance of outfits, but I liked the color. This look feels pretty casual for an elegant city because of the ball cap, but that's also a trend focus that I decided to do. But look what happens when I add the cardigan, how it softens all of those harsher accents of this look and draws out the romanticism of that top. Especially when we travel, I think our clothes need to be played with. So wrapping, twisting, knotting, moving things around, tying them at the back. Don't be afraid to play with your clothes. We'll get so much more out of them this way. Okay, and since this is a completely imaginary trip, I'm imagining that I am actually not bringing my laptop or my work camera gear with me, so I've just got some toiletries, little traveling pharmacy, my jewelry. I'm also imagining that I'm not bringing any of my running gear, like my entire running kit, which normally also takes up a ton of space. As you can see, I only use packing cubes when they make sense. So I put my pajamas, my underwear, socks, and all of that in that one packing cube on the other side. But aside from that, I use the fabric of the clothing to figure out how I want to place it and whether I want to fold it or roll it, depending on what fits and what's best for the fabric. This is where I would normally put my laptop and all of my work gear, but instead, some reading material. I'll throw my belt bag in there. I always bring a pen and also my AG1 greens. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video and you found it helpful. Let me know if you liked this video, and if you learned something new, give it a thumbs up or hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this travel capsule themed video, you will love my next live Shop Your Closet event. It's coming up on May 31st, and travel capsules are the theme. So I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for caring about slow fashion and choosing creativity instead of consumption. I will see you in the next slow fashion video. Have a great day, week, night, wherever you're at. Ciao.